Arrington, City Council Member.
Jonah Katie, City Council Member.
Ronnie Price, Mayor.
Homer, City Council Member.
Phil Hamilton, City Council Member.
Tim Berry, City Council Member.
Buck Buchanan, Police Chief.
Rick Lance, Director of Public Works and Utilities.
Julie Boyd, Interim Planning and Zoning Administrator.
Chad Russell, Fire Chief.
Matt Kane, Director of Finance.
Dana Engstrom, City Clerk.
Les Mangus, Director of Community Development.
Jolene Graham, Assistant City Administrator.
Jennifer McCausland, City Administrator.
All right. At this time, Ben Griff, I'm sorry, sir,
No, you're fine.
from Hope Community Church will lead us in invocation. How are you tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I wanted to read a verse really quick from Micah 6:8. God desires of his people. He says, act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for this evening. Lord, in your word, you just say to be thankful in all circumstances. Lord, to look to you. And Father, we thank you for the breath in our lungs. We thank you for the life, for the family, Lord, for the jobs we have. Lord, just even that we are alive here. Because Lord, we cannot make ourselves last tomorrow. Lord, only you can do that. And so, Father, we just look to you. Lord, would you help our city? Would you help our, just all the people who are involved in seeking to make this place better, to protect it, to serve it? Lord, would you help them to just act justly? Lord, that we would desire for right to be made. Lord, that they would love mercy, that in the challenging moments, Lord, that we would be merciful, that we would give of ourselves for those who need it, for those who need help, for those who desire just a little bit more, that we would be able to give of ourselves when we have it. And Lord, also just to walk humbly. Father, that we would not elevate ourselves, Lord, that it would not be all about us, because when it is, that is when things fall apart. That is when things do not work out. But Lord, when we put our trust in you, when we see the way that you work and the way that you move and put our trust in you, Father, there is freedom and there is good. So Lord, we thank you for those who serve and give of their time. Lord, we ask that you would protect their families, protect them. Lord, just continue to bless our community. And yeah, Lord, we thank you for this evening. Let everyone who shares just be able to share from their heart, and let it be a joyful time to you. Amen.
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 Thank you for the privilege.
If you would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, at this time, I'll open the floor for public forum. If you would, state your name and keep it short. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor Price, City Council, City Administrator, and City staff. My name is Myrna Rogers. My husband Gary and I reside at 711 East Cloud Avenue in Andover, Kansas. I want to share the results of a one-question, non-scientific survey when the Senior Center members were asked, why do I come to the Senior Center? One of the best answers that I received was the following: because everyone values my existence. They accept me for who I am. Other responses in no particular importance included the following: to be around people. The four walls of my home close in on me. The variety of user-friendly activities and speakers. The library of books donated and books provided by the Andover Public Library. The puzzles, the crafts help me stretch my imagination. playing pool. And we have been offered to try to learn how to play too. When we pack the house for free Friday bingo, of course, we'd like to be a winner. The volunteer opportunities when I serve others, when I not focus on myself, but on others. Being with the Golden Ager community, those of the same age and like-mindedness. As a care provider, this individual attends the center with my friend, who I no longer consider them to be a client. And Chief Buchanan, donuts with the chief are a fun time when you update us on public safety issues and ways to protect ourselves. There is a Bible study with a volunteer Christian lay leader who helps us grow spiritually and provides grief support, enabling us to mend our hearts due to a loss of a loved one. Another comment, the senior center is my extended family and my refuge. Quilting projects, as we design beautiful quilts raffled as fundraisers for the center. Trivia, when we evaluate how much we remember. Craft fair, to earn a little extra income for our own personal needs and supports for the senior center. Playing the variety of card games in friendly competitions and laughter. Several members of the senior center eat their one and only home-cooked hot meal of the day for a donation of $5. The grant through WSU Physical Therapy Program helps provide low-impact exercise 2 times a week. It's fun to exercise as a group. The results of the survey indicated that the food, the fun, and the fellowship received is a renewable source of what seniors need every day. We choose to focus on living the best life possible under any circumstance. The members are valuable assets within the Andover community. They deserve the opportunity to share their experiences in who, what, where, when, and how to grow Andover, Kansas. They can vote their values as they walk their walk and talk their talk, learned from personal life experiences. Last but not least, the why. Let me refer back to my first comment. Because there is value in a senior citizen's existence. Thank you, Mayor Price and Council, for allowing me to share my opinions.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Appreciate you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
George Theo Harris, 519 Woodstone Place. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I think I have. But I love this place. You know why I love this place? In 1957, and this was established, Andover, Kansas. In March 18th of 1957, I was established in 4 miles from Andover, Massachusetts. True story. And if those are clouds up there, there's a little bit of a cloud that follows me since then. I'm just saying. So, but anyhow, I talked with the fire chief today, and the donuts with the police chief is great, but we're going to start doing carrots with the chief, the fire department. We're going to be healthy. So I'm just saying. So some of the seniors would like also for the chief to come over and tell us about safety and different things. And he said he was 1,000% in on top of that. Now comes to a sad point. We're over at a senior center. We do not have a defibrillator. That's sad. That's very sad. And I was going to we have a one little bedroom bungalow, my wife and I, at the 519 Woodstone Place, and $6,000 in taxes. So I'm just wondering if you guys could find something in the budget to come up with a defibrillator over there. But I will tell you a little sad fact. And I get to call her Margaret. It's actually Margette, but I call her Margaret because she's gritty and she really fights for us. But so one of the sad facts is when people pass, they'll leave money because we're struggling to make it. So that may be something that they're trying to do. No defibrillator, people die and they'll pass on the money to the thing. I don't know. I'm just saying, you can connect those dots if you want. But we're really looking for, we should have a defibrillator and we don't have a budget. Now, I will tell you, the senior center in Wichita, they charge $35. Now, we only charge $15. And so if we charge $35, that's 20, and there's about how many members, 150 or 500? How many members do we have? 500. So 500, that would be $10,000. But that would maybe run some people off too. So I'm glad that we keep the $15. So I hope that you guys can help us with the defibrillator. All right, thank you.
I don't know how I'm going to measure up to these two. Sorry.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Public forum is closed. Acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Presentation. Margaret is going to talk to us now about Andover Senior Center. Just take a breath, hon. You want me to get you a stool? Sorry.
No, I wore my tall shoes, thank you. Sorry. Good evening, Mayor Price, City Council members, and all the city staff. Thank you for having me. I am Margaret Gibbons, the director of the Andover Senior Center at 410 Lioba Drive. I'm here to address the $5,500 grant that we did receive from the city this year, and I want to say thank you very much for that. We are a nonprofit organization that promotes fellowship and activities for anyone in the Andover area who has reached the age of 50 or better. Breathe. Sorry. Our primary goal is to feed, educate, and provide social activities for our members along with the community. We offer lunches daily that are prepared by our cook and volunteers from our kitchen. Last year, we served 10,927 in-house meals at our center, physically being in the center. And our volunteers delivered another 4,751 meals to the homebound seniors that can't get out of bed or can't get, food. So that was really good, for a total of 15,678 meals. We are projected to serve over 17,000 this year. We are also a commodity station which allows low-income citizens to pick up food once a month. We also offer at least 60 educational speakers a year, as well as entertainment, which is tailored to senior needs and interests. Most of our members live in the Andover community. Non-members are also encouraged to visit the center and participate in all of our fundraising events, such as monthly Monterey dinners, craft shows, and quilt raffles, just to name a couple. We also have a game night usually held the third Saturday of each month, which is open to the community, which our seniors love. They love the kids and everybody coming. So that's a wonderful thing. Other monthly functions include Donuts with the Chief, Trivia Day, Memory Cafe, just to name a few. Our greatest expenses are food, followed by payroll, utilities, and insurance. Other expenses are kitchen supplies, office supplies, snow removal, new kitchen equipment, and emergencies. Like when our freezer went out, we had to scramble to get a new freezer. And we want to thank the chamber and everybody. Jody helped us out too. Thank you so much for that. Let's see, I wasn't going to veer, sorry. Our membership is over 500 and growing, which makes it a challenge to keep up with all the services and the activities that our seniors really deserve. They really do. Okay. We have an average of 77 people a day at the center. Today was 91 that we fed and did activities. Fridays, we have over 100 people that we feed and we have prizes for. So that's a very big day. Some days we even have to lock the doors because we meet capacity. And I hate that. I really do, that we can't let everybody that needs to come in. Anyway, as of July 1st, 2025, we have spent approximately $70,000 for 6 months to run the center. As you can see, the $5,500 grant we received from you guys was used in a very good way to offset food costs for a month and a half, 2 months, and that helps out a lot. That gives me a lot of time to scramble, to get more money, and fundraisers. We received $5,500 from the city grant and $48,000 from Butler County for a total of $53,000. We have to rely on fundraisers, donations, and memorials to cover the estimated $75,000 that is going to be the next 6 months at the center. And that is all by fundraising, donations, and memorials. So we come up with quite a bit on our own. A lot. Because we have to keep the center running. Can you imagine if we didn't have a senior center in Andover? What would we have a lot of people that need that place. So very happy that it's doing so well. We are a very important part of the Andover community, and hopefully this report indicates our need for your support. And we thank you for everything that you have done for us. And I'm done. Sorry. Any questions was that good?
I don't
Go sit down now? Or do you?
I don't have a question, but I do have a statement.
Yes, sir.
It is true that you turned down you do this out of love.
I do. I've turned down many jobs. That is 5-6 times what I make. But I love this community. I really do. I've been here for 8 years and I want to buy a plot at the cemetery that's down the street. I do. That's how committed I am to this town. I love it. So yes, I'm happy, and it's just the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Yes,
Mark.
go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry.
So when you guys are in there, at mealtime, is there enough room?
No, sometimes there's not, especially with a heavy day. Like today, we had 90 in there. So we have 134 that we can allow in the center. So it's not like we, broke code or anything, Chad. Sorry. Anyway.
Because you got a people counter though, right?
No, I just count chairs, but it's very tight in there with 90 people today. It's very tight. We have a balance class from Myrna said it from, WSU, and it's very hard to fit on Thursdays, but coming in at 9:30, we have to, he's got to get out of there by 10:30. And then we have 25-30 people come for the balance class, which takes up over a quarter of our space. So it's, so it's just, I just stack activities on top of activities. So if I have 3 activities going on at the center at once, the noise is deafening. As a matter of fact, having so many people come is a good thing, but also on the other hand, I have seniors that don't come in anymore that should be able to come in because there's just too much noise. It's too much action. Everywhere you look, we've got something going on. So that's just, one of the cons of getting bigger, and we are getting bigger. We've met all the requirements for Butler County as a senior center. I had an audit this year, and we made the audit in 6 months, not a year. And now they want to put another tier on the funding for the mill levies due to our senior center because we're so big, and we have blown all the numbers away in Butler County. So they're thinking of actually starting a new tier for us, and we would be a resource hub. We'd have to be open 50 hours a week. I would have to have a full-time assistant, which we cannot afford. So, we're doing big things. And I just kind of have my hands tied now because we just need a little more room so I can do more activities. Okay, I'm trying not to ramble.
You're fine. You also help with transportation needs, correct?
Well, the transportation we use from Butler County, it's their Department on Aging's transportation. We really, really I want to start working on figuring out how we can get transportation for our seniors. In Butler County, we are the #1 user of the system out of all the counties in Butler County. I mean, we have, I think it's over 6,000 rides a year we're using. So, and all those people, they're coming to the center. They, or to the doctors. So it's a struggle to get everybody there, but we do it, even if I have to carpool, get people down there. So, we're trying.
With your personal vehicle too.
Yes, yes, sir.
And so one other question, maybe people don't know, but one source of your income is you rent the senior center out for a venue type of situation?
Yes, sir. Yes, if you're a member, you can rent the center out for 4 hours for $35 and for 8 hours, $75. Yeah. And we make a little bit of money off that for sure.
That's too cheap.
You think?
I'm just saying. Yes.
Yeah, and we need an overhaul on the building
But
too. It looks like we're still in the 80s.
But you rent it out to the general public too, right?
Oh
Not
yeah, the
just-
general public. Yes.
The general public can pay a little more money.
Yeah, it's 50 for a non-member and 100 for the 8 hours. 50 for 4, and then we ask for $100 deposit, but I give it back as long as they don't make spills or ruin my carpet.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
So I'm sorry, yes.
I just want to make a statement. I just want to say thank you very much for coming. I appreciate everyone being here in the audience and
Thank you for having me.
appreciate the information. I would agree with you that I think that the senior center is extremely vital to the community, and the more information we get about it is helpful for us.
Yes, sir.
So at any time, reach out, please, to any one of us, and that's what we're here for. And,
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to be out there, so I'll be seeing you.
All
in
right,
person.
wonderful. Thank you so much. And we have a Monterey next Wednesday.
Which is extremely good. I might
Which
say.
is we are famous for our Montereys. They come from everywhere for them. So please join us. And the best part is the homemade desserts.
So,
Margie, would you do me a favor? Can you find a couple models of defibrillators and just text them to me? You got
Yes.
My number.
Yes,
I
sir.
actually have a buddy that works in an AED place, and when I talked to him last year, he said there's actually grants that he has the ability to draw down on
Oh.
to get people access to one. So I might continue that conversation with
Okay,
him.
thank you so much, Phil. I will. Thank you so very much.
Joe, do you have something she'd like to say?
I just wanted to say thank you for all you do
Oh,
and for the transportation, for the food, for the fellowship, for making people feel seen. And we are very fortunate to have the senior center here. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
All right. One more thing. Text me tomorrow, would you?
Okay.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This lady does an extreme amount of work, a lot of work. And she occasionally puts up with politicians when they roll in and stuff like that. So thank you, Margaret.
Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate you.
Could I just add one more thing? I talk with, I talked with Chief Chad, and he has some information. I told him IEDs, and he said, no, we don't want those. So it's AEDs. So he's got some information too on those. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would be interested, maybe at a workshop learning what our options would be, maybe assisting the senior center more. I know definitely when the last Monterey fundraiser they had, I stopped in for lunch for my coworkers and stuff and grabbed, a batch of Monterey's, and man, everyone loves them. But they're busting at the seams when you go in there. I don't know what the city can do, but is there any options, grants, that kind of thing that we could help with? I'd be interested maybe at a workshop learning more about that. And since we just added more workshops for next year, maybe on one of those.
Homer, I like to piggyback on that. I was writing some things down here, and this, we can continue this in, another meeting if we need to, but questions I was thinking is who actually owns the building?
We own the building.
Okay.
Outright.
Are you affiliated with the county? But you just get grants from the county.
Yeah.
How hard, I'm gonna throw this out here. How hard would it be to have the senior center be part of the city facility?
That was actually my thought. I was going to piggyback with
And that way,
with
the
Homer.
city is just
Yeah.
funding it.
Yeah. Can we get like what other cities do? Can we get some comparisons on, how other senior centers are?
We can definitely look into it. It's a two-sided thing. Margaret enjoys a lot of autonomy, and I think the seniors like running the center how they like to run it. As all of the department heads up here would tell you, you don't get to run it how you want to run it when you're part of the government. There's a lot of rules, regulations, bureaucracy, processes, timelines, and approvals that have to happen that might make the senior center not look like the senior center looks today. So I would encourage from a philosophical point of view to tread lightly before any rushing into that might occur. To be clear, the state of Kansas funds aging through your counties. So the counties all serve as an extension of the state. And so the Department on Aging, who funds the $48,000, that's what they're tasked with doing. So I'm really excited to hear that they might be able to create some other tier and increase the funding. I'm going to reach out to Crystal at Butler County, who's with Department on Aging, and try to learn about that and see what kind of support they might need to get to that. And maybe there's a way we could help partner with them there.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I can come back with Crystal. She offered to come with me today, and I said, no, I'm a big girl.
Well, maybe we should do that at a workshop.
Yeah, I think that's, and it's something
So-
just to think
so-
about.
So me and Margaret and I,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Margaret and I have talked about this many a times. The elephant in the room is if you move it from where it's at, it's out of reach for a lot of folks.
Yes.
So one of the things we've talked about is there might be an opportunity right across the street to expand, but we have to make that connection and yes, ma'am.
And if we do that, let me throw out there, if we work with the church or they let us have some of that land,
Mhm.
it would, they're a nonprofit 501c just like we are.
Mhm.
If we could combine, we could be such an immense resource place, not just for seniors, but for anybody that's having
Mhm.
problems. Like Augusta has a caring center, we
Mhm.
could do something like that. Maybe not with the clothes and all that, but with resources to help people, the commodity pickups, whatever we need to do for those that are less fortunate, not just the seniors. And it would increase his numbers. I don't need my numbers increased at all, but I know that they need more people, and that would bring more people to to both of us.
Okay, let's we could go on all night long, but let's, and I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you for having us.
We'll,
I will say that El Dorado is a wonderful benchmark. If you want to look at a good operating senior center,
Okay.
the city is affiliated.
we'll try to,
City funds El Dorado.
we'll try to set this up at a workshop or something, and we'll stay in touch with you, Margaret, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Because it's important to us too. It's just a lot of it is the logistics, right? And so,
I'm having a hard time just getting a committee together to even start, you know what I mean, start the process.
Maybe-
Because everybody's seniors.
maybe that's something we can help with too, get younger people than me involved.
Yes,
And,
not yes. but
Smarter and
You're senior too.
I thank you, Jody. All right, one last thing. Everybody over 50, raise your hand. Okay, if you're not a member of the senior center, lower your hand. Okay, did you get their names? Did you get their names, Margaret? All right, thank you. All right, let's move on. Thank you for being here, y'all.
If you don't give me that.
All right.
Young kids sitting up here.
All right, consent agenda.
I'm not over 50.
Consent agenda, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve consent agenda items 8.1 through 8.4 as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
I do just have one question. I mean, I approve it because I don't think there's anything else we can do. Rick, you know, I'm looking at you. In regards to the pump replacement, right? This is on the current stuff. Is it just getting us by until the new plant is good to go? Or will we be able to use it in the new plant?
So to be clear, we basically have a redundancy system and we're operating on the backup redundancy, which we're required to have for obvious reasons. As most of you know, wastewater comes down at you and there's no shutting it off. So that's why you have to have redundant backup systems. And the style of motor that we're getting replaced is different in the new plant. It's just is what it is. It's changed times and stuff. So we couldn't buy what would work in the new plant and put it in here and then move it over. It is what it is. It'll probably be operational for a few years. At that time, we can either look at trying to sell it or something along the lines or see if there's some other option for it. But we have to have it. We didn't want to buy it any more than you probably want to buy it.
Sure.
But it's just the timing is what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 9-1, temporary use 1600 West Highway 54, Marietta Farms Pumpkin Patch 2025.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, we have for you this evening the 2025 edition of the Marietta Farms Pumpkin Patch. Probably seen some signs for it already up around town. Staff understands the layout is probably going to be very much the same as it was before. Seems that they kind of have that down to a science. I can read off all of the included structures if you'd like, but suffice to say, it should be very similar to the setup in past years. They have applied for 2 tents, 2 membrane structures, which are a separate process, doesn't go to you guys, but just for your information. Those are approved by the fire department, in addition to those buildings that I have listed there. They are wanting to be open from Friday the 26th to Friday the 31st, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 9 to 6 on Friday and Saturday. Staff and the applicant have talked a little bit, and we feel that about a week before and after for setup and teardown is reasonable, since there's quite a lot of components to get to and from the site here, which would mean that per staff's recommendation, they'd be allowed to begin setting up on the 19th, and then they'd have to complete tearing down at the end of the day on the 7th, November the 7th.
And I need to back up just a step. This is Z-TU 25-0002.
Yes.
Any
And I guess I'll
questions?
point out, not all temporary use applications come before you guys. So I don't think you guys saw number 1. This is one of the particular temporary uses that does require governing body approval. It's a carnival, fall carnival.
Any questions?
Is that land clear as it sits today in regards to compliance?
As of, I didn't drive by earlier today. Last that staff was aware, there was one of these structures, I believe it's the second one listed, the 2440 office container, was already on site. Believe that was moved in last week, but I don't know exactly.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, more of a statement, and I've talked to Jacob as well. You know, not that we're at an impasse, right? But you do have things that don't make it compliant as it sits today, right now. With that said, I guess it's you know, luck of the draw that it comes to this agenda, because I don't see that, you know, if we tabled it or denied it to have you reapply, that by the time we had another meeting, we'd already be at the 26th, just to have you remove round bales, I believe is what I saw. I say 20, and then a semi-trailer, and then either concession stand or the zombie apocalypse paintball hut that's currently on there right now. However, my 3 young ones would probably kill me if I didn't allow you to have the pumpkin patch out there, you know, this year. But I guess I'm serious. I appreciate Jacob being here in the audience tonight so that we can talk about it. And I understand clerical errors when it comes to permits and stuff like that and shipping. But really, as it stands, you don't have it cleared. It isn't in compliance right now. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you. Yeah, the hay was an issue of, as you guys know, it's been raining. And the guys that we buy the hay from have had very little windows to get it out and get it moved. And normally we've, like I said, clerical error in my office on getting it approved ahead of time. And the guys needed to get the hay out and they dropped it. That's why I had them leave the trailer there, because I said, hey guys, I'm going tomorrow to get approved, because I think they dropped the last load yesterday. I made them leave the trailer. The building was purchased and showed up early. And normally, you know, and I know we asked for 1 week to set up. I need a little more than that to set up. There's a lot that goes into this with that swing set and stuff like that. A lot of it comes in late, but a lot of these bigger structures, it takes time and crews and moving crews. And then once again, just like today, you know, I can't get on that property for 2 or 3 more days right now. You know what I mean? With anything there, and just being able to stage stuff there to be able to get on the grass. Cause it's, I don't know, what did we get? Inches again yesterday? So yeah, I apologize for getting there early. It was the weather this year. It's been a bear. I mean, as you know, with everyone.
Yeah, so I drive by it almost every day. I saw it get dropped a couple weeks ago. It really didn't bother me because for the most part, you've kept it pretty clean over the last several years since we had it last time. So to be honest, it doesn't really bother me if it came early. You know, we're trying to be reasonable here. We get it. Like the expectation is obviously when it's done, it'll be cleaned up in a timely manner, which I'm sure you'll do. So
it takes us about a week to tear down, depending on weather. Setup takes longer. So I think last year we were out in 4 days, which was our record. And that was not 1,000% out. That was down, ready to haul out, because we have to rent semi-trailers and everything else. That was onto the lot and getting hauled off the property. I mean, I don't know what the actual timeline was.
Right.
No one gets to go, gets a day off until it's empty. So I promise the guys work as fast as they can to get that lot clear.
Also, kind of side note, but I was happy to see that you bought Apple Jacks so that it could continue to run as a pumpkin patch and all of that.
It became available. The Bergen family unfortunately had some health issues, and we're very happy to do that and grow our pumpkin empire.
So would you be interested in annexing the Applejack then into Andover as well? Is that, am I putting you too much on the spot here? But I hear that's what you're saying. I mean,
if you take the city limits out that far, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
Are the dates that you have on here correct, from September 26th to October 31st?
Yes, that's our open dates.
And then so September 19th set up to November 7th.
I need some more time for setup than that. I'd like to start setup immediately just to get done, especially with the weather we're fighting this year.
Immediately would be
the 10th.
The 10th.
I'm hopeful. I have semis waiting to deliver in the morning. So
okay, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to approve with some adjustments, a temporary use permit for 1600 West Highway 54 to allow the temporary pumpkin patch and fall carnival to operate the property from September 26th to October 31st, with a setup beginning on September the 10th and tear down ending by November 7th.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. And
Thank you, everyone.
Jacob, we really appreciate it when people show up. You know, it's a,
I like coming and seeing you guys.
yeah.
Hadn't seen Buck in a while.
I'm sure you do.
It's always fun.
I mean, that's what did it for me, is that you showing up. I mean, that really meant that you cared about what we had to say. So I appreciate you just showing up.
And this is important to me. And I mean, I know, the other thing about this is, we have 58 employees, a lot of high schoolers with part-time jobs, a lot of retirees, anyone looking for, we're looking for honorary grandmas and grandpas. So, sorry to pitch a job deal, but we're doing that. And, 30 some schools coming. I mean, a lot back to the community. So, it's important, not to just me as a businessman, it's important to a lot of people here. So we really appreciate you guys letting us do this. And, hopefully I'm going to call Brian out. Brian's going to get us platted in that, and then we can get it approved. You don't have to deal with me every year.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Onward and upward. 10-1 council compensation. And it says governing body on here, so.
I'll go ahead and start. I was the one that asked to take it back to workshop. The reason that I did ask to take it back, and I think I mentioned that night, was I wanted us to be able to have a conversation on, more than just what we had. And I think it was very important. One of the questions that I had that did not get addressed was I wanted to find out from city staff what did that look like, and what did that look like to the budget. Upon those conversations, I guess, still be able to get to the goal that was set by Councilman Hamilton, but also taking into consideration of where we are in the budget this year and where we are with the budget going forward, and what does that look like for all the other departments. I suggested that it be maybe step it at 25% over the next 4 years. That would still give them the 100%, but not all at one time.
Anyone else?
I'd like to see sorry, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to see the attendance piece. I think we need to have attendance to be compensated. I think blindly giving somebody compensation and they don't have to show up for a meeting, I think it doesn't allow for any recourse if they don't show up. So I would like that piece removed as well.
Anyone else? So where do we go from here?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to rescind the motion that passed on July 29th, 2025.
Second. Is that how we do that?
A little
What was
blind
the-
without a city attorney here.
What was the motion?
To rescind July 29th, 2025
But what was that motion?
for the pay increase.
I think you're,
I would suggest that we make two motions. So to rescind it and then another motion for the changes. No. I'll defer to Jenny.
I don't know that you can rescind action that you've taken. You voted. I don't think you can pretend that didn't happen by voting tonight that it didn't happen. I think you can make a motion to change the governing body compensation moving forward effective X date to whatever you want it to be with whatever conditions. But I don't think there's an option to rescind something that you voted on.
So would it be in our best interest to table this for 2 weeks till we have an attorney here to speak intelligently on what we can and
I think
cannot
we
do.
can figure this out. I just think that that motion is not, I don't think you can rescind something that's been voted. It's in the minutes. It happened. I don't think it's appropriate for the city clerk to go back and take that out. And if you look at the true definition of rescind, that's kind of what you're asking to do. So I think what that motion needs to be, I would take, you could rescind the motion because y'all haven't voted on that yet. And I would make a motion for what you want it to be starting January 1. That motion could be, you want it to be what it was before that, or it could be 25% high. It could be whatever you want it to be. But I think the motion needs to be to take action, not to erase action.
All right, I'm going to rescind my motion to rescind that motion.
And whomever seconded needs to agree
Jody.
with that.
Oh, I am rescinding my second. Okay. To Homer's motion to rescind.
With that said, I'm not in favor of an increase, so I won't be making a motion.
I will make the motion to not do the 100% in 2026.
The motion, you got to make the motion to change what we
Oh,
already voted on.
Okay, so I'm
nothing-
making,
Yeah.
I'm making the motion to change
Governing body compensation
governing body compensation
to,
to 25% over the next 4 years instead of the 100% beginning January 1, 2026.
what I think I heard was Councilwoman O'Kades is moving to increase governing body compensation from what it is today to 25% higher effective January 1, 2026.
Yes. Okay. Instead of,
And,
And?
and for,
and what?
and for that to,
I think we're going to need to budget to increase the 25% in 27, 28, and 29 because of cash basis law, which your finance director's nodding at me for. But we will put in the notes, in the minutes, that conversation was that this was a 4-year phased-in approach, but I don't think you can vote for raises in future years because cash basis law in Kansas doesn't allow you to do that.
I agree.
Okay.
I think JT would be really proud of me for knowing that.
So what about the show up part that Homer mentioned?
The motion on the table does not address that, so.
I know it. But, so that's up to governing body. I'm out. So whatever y'all want. It's just, he brought it up once, so it's up to everybody to decide. Is that part of the dilemma, or are we just flat giving ourselves a 25% raise and you can show up if you want or not show up if you want? What's the conversation?
So I'm somewhat divided on that. I agree that participation is important, but my understanding is many other cities relatively similar to our size do not have that requirement. So I'm kind of split between, yeah, I think it's important, but other cities also don't have that approach.
But I'll remind you, Mr. Hamilton, that you said we're not other cities. In fact, you said it a number of times, we're Andover. So you can't have it both ways.
Sure.
I also, Mr. Mayor, I think probably at that workshop that we had just discussed most recently, not doing the stair step probably should have been brought up then that we can't do it. Now, if we learn that that was an issue after, but at that workshop, I'm pretty sure it was said.
Yep.
And if that's the way that this was
I
going
didn't know
to
that.
go, maybe that should have been brought up at that workshop, that that's not possible.
Okay, I'm sorry. To be clear, cash basis law in Kansas, and the public probably would want to know this too. So you all don't get to commit next year's governing body to action for that year, because probably you wouldn't have liked a governing body before you to commit you to a decision for this year. That is what cash basis law in Kansas says. That's why we have to be very careful with subscriptions where You get pricing, and in year 2 or 3, it might change. It always has to include, if you'll notice in those contracts, subject to cash basis law in Kansas, meaning that this body in that year, but when you approve the budget you're about to approve, authorizes that expenditure, because it's not fair. At least 2 of you won't be on this governing body next year, and there'll be at least 2 new people. They shouldn't be bound by a decision you all made today in 2026. That's the basis of the state law. So we can absolutely put into the minutes, and I can promise you, for what you take that to be worth, at a public meeting that's televised and you can all see, that in the budget in 2027, we will budget a 25% raise for the governing body, and again in 28 and again in 29. But that's the best I can do for you in terms of making a motion.
Thanks, Jenny.
Now, there's not a second, I don't believe. So at some point, Mr. Mayor, you are able to say that a motion can die for failure to have a second.
Say that again.
Currently, the motion only has been made, but nobody has seconded it. At some point, and we can sit here as long as you're comfortable having us sit, a motion can die for lack of a second, and we can either move on to see if another motion is made, or we can move on to the next item.
All right, then, for lack of a second, let's move on. All right, exciting time of the night right here. 11-1, approval of 2026 budget.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you very much. Since we have been through the budget presentation a couple of times, we decided we won't sit through it again this evening. All the information from that presentation is in the packet, as well as a link to the video from last week's presentation. And we just need to let you all take votes. I'll stand for any questions regarding the budget.
So no presentation right now. No bathroom break.
No.
Okay.
So I can get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
seeing that we've gone over this in budget workshops and all that stuff, it's not like we just see this weekend and approve it. There's a lot of work that went into it, a lot of work on staff's behalf on that they did. And so I really appreciate that. And I move to approve the 2026 budget for the city of Andover as presented at the budget hearing on August 26, 2025.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I do have one thing. Matt and the entire staff, I see, I've been on, Ronnie, we've been on here, what, is this 6 years? We've been on here for 6 years or 5 years, and I really enjoy how you present the budget. I know we give you a hard time about the riveting aspects of it, but I do appreciate how you lay it out and how, it's easier for the citizens to look at. In fact, I got a compliment a couple weeks ago for you that, they really appreciate the PowerPoints and they look at it through the packet. And so I just want to say thank you and all the city staff on how much work you guys do to this. Prior to being on here, I never realized how much it worked, oh, well, you spent some money this year, we're going to tax some next year and, we'll be fine. But it is amazing how much work all these department heads do, plus, Mr. Matt here and his riveting movies of budget presentation. So I just want to personally thank you guys, and Matt, thank you for putting that out there, because I have had a couple people reach out to me and say that they like how you put that out there. Nothing that the previous CFO has, or title, is that your title, CFO?
Yeah,
You're the
senior
finance
CFO.
dude. Nothing that Donna has done in the past, but, just kind of new, refreshed, just people like that. So I thank you for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It is definitely a team effort. I couldn't do it by myself.
All right, anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. (12-1) change order lodge construction project. Is that right?
Mhm.
Rick's going to talk to us about that.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we we've exhausted the contingency and are into change order on the lodge as we wrap up the final items. Basically, this change order is 2 items. One is a monument sign. You know, as you all may remember, as we were going through the lodge project, we were tightening the dollars and the budgets and trying to get the most out of the building that we could. And I guess a monument sign was kind of overlooked, which is ironic when prior to the tornado, the last part of the lodge remodel I was working on getting signage for that building. So the irony of that's not lost on me. But I'll take the heat on that one. I just didn't even think about it. And then as we're sitting there looking at the building, I'm thinking we need to have signage up here to really call out what this is. As people are going to be going to events down in the future that are going to the lodge, it'd be nice to have a sign out there that gives it that destination. So we worked through site plan as required, and there's your plantings, and this is all in your packet. No, I'm sorry, I also got to apologize for that. It did not make it in your packet. I thought it was in there, and that's on me also. However, the renderings here, the nice pretty pictures, that is going to complement. The curve will be just kind of the opposite curve of the existing sign off to the side. It's the amphitheater. This is powered by Evergy on it, with some plantings down below. And if you notice, there's an area that did not get sodded because we didn't want to waste the money on the sod and then just tear it right back out. So it's left out. That's exactly where that will be going. And it will be a backlit type of sign to give it that little pop in evening events and such. I felt like the architect, Don, has done a really nice job trying to blend in all the other facility architecture and everything and make it look nice and kind of make it all come together. The other part of this change order is for something that we just really couldn't predict. We got about 3 or 4 weeks into the project, and then we were told, hey, there's going to be a delay on the AC and heat and air unit. We're like, okay. And it was going to be, I can't remember what they said. It was like, all right, well, we can live with that. Then as we got further in the project, the delay kept getting pushed back, and we had to have the building conditioned with AC just to be able to do the floors. So we started looking around, and Key found a temporary AC unit, which is what's sitting up there right now today, running, and got it going so we could get that building operational as far as getting the conditions so the floors could be done. And as some of you noticed, it might be a little cold in there, a few meetings and stuff. It's run on temporary type setup, so it's not the most optimum. Unfortunately, sometime late yesterday, I also got news that because we thought the unit was going to be shipping this week, and because it got pushed back to the 6th of October now. So we might have to rent it a little bit longer than what's rented through this contract or through this agreement now. But it's kind of a pass-through cost when you do a CMAR type project like this, where these are kind of direct expenses that just kind of come and happen to be ours. I can't say it's Key's fault. I can't say it's mechanicals. We spec the unit. It just happens to fall into a weird time where they're just having some delivery issues. We've hounded the supplier as much as we can, but if any of you have ever tried to order anything, there was suppliers not shipping it. There's only so much hounding you can do. They're only going to ship it when they have it. At this point, we've talked, and there's just not a lot of options even to change unit types, because then we have to change a lot of the other stuff built into it. So it's designed around this very specific unit system that we think will work really well when we get it there. Unfortunately, it's a cost that we're going to have to borne, and we're not super happy about it, but I don't know how to get around it at this point. So those 2 items together come to about $65,000, and they're actually happen to weirdly be just about split down the middle. On the flip side, it's good news. We're doing some final accounting on our FF&E stuff. We have a few things yet to get the final invoices on and get them totally ironed out, but we are substantially under the 300,000 that we had said we thought it would come out to be, which was a guesstimate at the time, but I felt was conservative, and I feel like we will be well below this number, below that. Now, what it's going to be below, we'll see, but we're substantially under that number now. So overall, the project should still generally be about the same cost overall as we had expected. I would stand for any questions if anyone has any.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question. if
Yes,
I may.
sir.
Hey, Rick, I know, this system's all set up for all this cool new stuff. And I thought Key was supposed to order this. Did they order it? I mean, a year and a half ago? I mean,
They ordered it as soon as we finalized the design on it. As you remember, this is CMAR, so the design is a little bit tweaking as you go.
I guess my concern that I have is we're spending, 8 months to get this unit. What happens if something breaks? Are we going to have another 8 months before we can get a part for it? Are parts readily available?
I have not heard anything about parts being an issue. I can't even remember the detail of why it's just they're backordered that much right now. But I've not heard any issues with getting parts or anything like that. And the mechanical for the architect speaks highly of the systems. It's just that getting it here is apparently just whatever reason is being an issue.
Okay, what do you know the brand? What kind of?
It's an
unit it is?
Anon. I'm not sure if I'm saying it 100%
Okay,
right.
that's fine. I called my buddy who specializes in commercial equipment. I said, hey, I need a 12-ton AC unit. He's like, oh yeah, I can get you one next week. So, I mean, I guess that's where I'm a little.
Sure, we've got one up on the
Yeah,
roof. It's
so,
temporary.
I mean,
unit.
it's one of those things. I'm just concerned that if it's taking this long to order, how long is it going to take if something isn't right with it or if they didn't make it correctly? And I mean, but if the architect says it's great, I mean, we'll go with it, but it's frustrating.
It's the opinion of their mechanical specialist that it's the system that would work best, especially with, the coming and going of groups of people for a venue like this.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
In there, Rick, you said something about FFE. What was that?
Yeah, the furnishings, fixtures, and equipment. So all the chairs, tables, all those type of things that go into a facility. I had originally estimated and told you when we started buying stuff, it would be about 300,000, and we are substantially under that number.
And then does insurance take care of us not getting this unit or anything? I mean, and then, but I mean, I guess what potentials do we have after, I can't remember the last comment, after Greater Andover days? Is that something we would just turn it off? I mean, like we don't need air conditioning in the winter kind of thing, or I guess I'm just thinking, what happens if we don't get it?
Right. So we've talked about, with the weather after the Red Clay Strays concert, that the weather's looking to be kind of moderate and such. We talked about, is there a need to have an HVAC up there and rent it, even until it comes? There's a couple things we have to discuss, and we will have that conversation. But part of it is we do have some people offsetting in there, so we need to have some air movement in there. Maybe we just put some air handlers up there, just moves it, move some air or whatever, get some fresh air in the building. Because it's not a building designed to have windows open or doors open, necessarily all the time to give it fresh air. And then obviously, the same system that heats it too. So, we need to be prepared for, we get further down the road. Heating the building would be much easier really than cooling it. So, but we're going to have those conversations. Scott with Key Construction reached out. So we, want to talk about those options. So we're going to go talk about those options and see what that looks like and see what that does for the people that are occupying the building on a daily basis too.
And then are we going to have to do a change order then here coming up because it's not fixed as of right now? Are we going to have to do more, or is this going to cover it?
This covers it through, I think it's end of next week or something like that. Because we were going to hold on to the unit through Red Clay Strays anyway, because last thing we want to try to do is go in there and try to change out an AC unit 2 days before you have your large event. So we were going to wait until we're scheduled to do the install next week. Obviously, if the unit hasn't shipped yet, and it doesn't sound like it's going to now, that's not going to happen. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and when we'll do it and stuff. And we'll look at the weather and we'll talk to the people in the building and look at our options. But if it gets extended out, there is potential. Now, it's been that way for a while, so it's not like $10,000 a week or $10,000 a month. But, it takes a while to generate that cost. And the cost of picking it up, setting it up there, hooking it up and return is already borne in that cost. So if we just extended the rental a little bit, it's not going to be that big a number, but it would be a small change order, which, honestly, your city administrator is authorized up to a dollar amount to sign the smaller change orders.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor?
And
Yeah,
I had
go
one
ahead,
more thing,
Mr.
Mike, sorry. I'm going to point this to my favorite marketing person, Jenny. So in regards to the lodge, like the naming of the lodge, is that already been adopted like a long time ago or when we had the other lodge? Because I was wondering, like, could we attach Andover to it at all so that when we are pumping up a concert or whatever, it would say the Andover Lodge? But is there any way to do that or any sense to do that? I look to you or Megan, maybe.
My personal opinion is no, but can you? I think you can. You all can rename items if you want to rename it. I think so often the lodge is in conjunction with Central Park, Capitol Federal Amphitheater. If you're asking from a marketing point of view, I don't think you need to put more words on it. But if you're asking, can you procedurally, I think you can rename things if you want to rename things.
I would comment that often people say the lodge at Andover Central Park or the lodge at Capitol Federal Amphitheater. So you're probably getting some of that anyway, just when they refer to it, even though the building itself is the lodge.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
What's your backup plan? So what if they come back and say it's going to be a year? So do we, at that point, change to a completely different unit?
So,
I mean, I think we need to think about that and I agree. I mean, how hard a part's going to be if this special
Sure.
unit is, I got projects going on all the time that large units are going up on roofs. So,
sure. So I asked that specific question of Scott, and we're going to get with the architect and discuss what are options if they miss another one of the ship dates and stuff. What are we going to do? What is the end result? What are our options? Our short-term options, there's not a lot, because we've already prepackaged all the system for this particular unit. But we are going to have that conversation. We're going to get the mechanical back involved and have those discussions and see if there's another viable option that we could switch to and try to hold this supplier to their shipping date that they've last said to us.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I move to accept the change order reimbursing Key Construction for rental and installation of a temporary air conditioning unit and fuel costs and adding a monument sign to the project in the amount of $65,394.70.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Yeah, one more. Rick, what's the cost instead of doing a temporary? The reason I pause on this and most likely Tim and Mike as well is because so the public sees and maybe they don't go into the invoice, but it's $32,000 for just renting this thing. What's a new 12-ton AC unit cost? Are we talking millions of dollars?
No, not millions.
100,000?
You're getting closer. Yeah. They're very expensive.
I mean, if we're already almost there, if like Mike said, plan B doesn't work, it's like, we should just buy one to put up there temporarily and then, purple wave it.
Obviously we didn't anticipate this was going to carry on. And then, the last time we were pretty much told it was going to be this week. And then now we find out it's not. So we're going to evaluate all those options. I mean, it's inside of that is some of the cost of just hooking it up and making those accommodations. We had to get a generator. That was not part of all that. It had to do more with Evergy being able to get out in time to get a transformer in place for us. So some of that cost in there rolls in a generator rental and gas fuel for that to run the whole system. So it's not all the 32,000 is a rental.
Okay.
But a good portion of it is, yes.
All right, I want to add on to that too. So I know you said you're going to talk to the supplier, but and Key, but it's really the manufacturer. So it probably would be a good idea for you guys, to talk directly to the manufacturer and figure out what the heck is going on here.
And we're shouldn't.
Not going through the GC and not going through, I mean, they've had their time.
Yeah, you're correct. And I guess I misstated that when I said the supplier. When I say supplier, I mean the people actually supplying the unit from the factory. We're going to try to go to Anon themselves and figure out what's going on. Make sure that Sherry gets some sort of guarantee that they can somehow meet their deadline. And I don't know, I did not get any, like I said, this came late yesterday and I just asked to have some meetings and we can discuss it because I don't know why it got pushed. I didn't get any other further information at that point of what's causing this late push now.
Have
At
them
what
pay
point
for
do
it.
you start liquidated damages on that?
Well, that's tough because it's, the liquidated damages, you know how that goes. That goes down to the GC. The GC will then appropriate it down to the sub, and the sub will then try to go. But I don't know if they have a recourse to go back down to. If it's coming from the manufacturers, it's not available. If that's, I don't know how that goes and how we've never really had a situation like this on these. We've had other projects where we've had to wait long term for a device on road projects or whatever to show up. It didn't cost us money like this, but we've had to wait a long time, and we just waited because it didn't charge LDs because it didn't feel as fair to the contractor or to the subcontractor. If they did their due diligence and made their order, got their submittals in and got their order done in a timely manner, it shouldn't fall on them necessarily for
I'm
that.
not saying that you really would do it, but the threat of it helps sometimes. That's all
I mean,
have.
I want to say, I feel like Key's been working pretty hard for us on this, trying to get this resolved. I don't want to throw them under the bus necessarily, because they don't want this any more than anyone else. It doesn't look good for them either. They want to be able to turn the bill. They want to finish. They want to get their full retention dollars and everything and be done and be able to close the project out.
Anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 13-1, 2025 STO ordinance. And Buck's going to talk to us about this.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Get to hear the exciting news about traffic and public offenses. So each year I do come to you with changes that are done to the Uniform Public Offensive Code and the Standard Traffic Offense. These are two different separate ones we're going to go over tonight. But the first one's going to be our STO, which is produced annually by the Kansas League of Municipalities. They're standardized them for multiple cities, and then pretty much our city attorney will go through and draft up what we see before you right now and approve what we have. The changes on the STO this year, there's nothing really too major except for it used to be the move over law, as you heard. Now they've expanded that much more for safety of just about anyone that has hazard lights on and stuff to try to move over if you can, or slow down at least as a minimum. The next one's the unlawful operation of worksite utility vehicles. They just pretty much fixed a drafting error to add the all-terrain vehicles into the part of the worksite utility vehicle. And I hope the next one doesn't apply to anyone in here, but it would be on the ferry to comply with the citation. Fixing that law pretty much, which I like as well, because there's a sunset on this one if it's 5 years. And they work with people that have suspensions is what it boils down to, how they work with them on trying to automatically expire after that time frame. So any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt an ordinance enacting the standard traffic ordinance for cities 52nd edition as published by the League of Kansas Municipalities in 2025 and amending chapter 18, Article 1, Section 18-101 of the Code of the City of Andover, Kansas.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 13-2-2025 UPOC ordinance. And Buck, again, will talk to us about this.
So again, I could try to drag this out if you guys want to and go longer tonight, but this is a pretty simple one as well. It's same thing. It's the UPOC, as we just discussed a moment ago, compared to the STO that the Kansas League of Municipalities puts together. Our city attorney has drafted this. Pretty simple changes on this one. They expanded the trespassing of critical infrastructure facility, and that goes pretty in depth as far as like your power and utilities, transportation, natural gas, manufacturing is what that incorporates now compared to what it used to be. So they wanted to expand it more to protect things that could affect us. Wastewater, good example, where someone can go in there or cut up our phone lines or whatever. It expands that more and broadens the trespassing side of that. It's been approved by our city attorney, and now before you, be happy to answer any questions on that one as well.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt an ordinance enacting the Uniform Public Offense Code for Kansas City's 41st edition as published by the League of Kansas Municipalities in 2025 and amending Chapter 8, Article 1, Sections and amending Chapter 13, Article 1, Sections 13-101 of the Code of the City of Andover, Kansas.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Member items, I'll start with Mr. Wimmer tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just fairly quickly, today, the mayor and I had an opportunity to participate in a reentry simulation at WSU for anyone that's had been incarcerated and then been released. So I will tell you that going into that, I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of the challenges that people would face in that situation, and I think I did, but I definitely didn't feel what that felt like, and I would just encourage anyone. I think we make a lot of assumptions about individuals that have been put into the system or that are in the prison system and that get out. And what I took away from it was just a lot more compassion and empathy, and knowing that whatever assumptions I was, would have probably made would be incorrect, that there's always a lot more to it. Realization that it's definitely the way our system's set up. It's extremely difficult for somebody to do all the right things to continue to, or I guess to get their life back. I would also just encourage anyone to look into attending that. It's open to anyone that's interested, and they run that simulation, I believe, monthly, maybe bi-monthly.
Right.
But it was one of the best, simulations that I'd gone to. There was a point where, and I think we were joking about it or laughing about, but you go through all the different processes that somebody that's been released goes through. And I was even ready to say, you know what, I'm ready to go back to jail. I'm tired of dealing with everything and failing at everything, that I couldn't get done. It was like, just send me back so I don't have to worry about it anymore. So you really did feel a little bit of what that might feel like. So really appreciate the opportunity to attend that with you.
Me too. I tell you, and Paul and I were having to make decisions together. I had stuff that he didn't have. He had stuff that I needed. And there was a lady that most of you would know if you heard her name, that actually said she gave up. She really did. And this is a play situation. And she just went over and stood in the corner where jail was and said, I'm done. Just the simplest things like getting food, deciding whether you have food or if you're going to pay for your UA analysis and your council member. And I had a daughter I have a daughter that actually helped kids reintegrate when they turned 18, and they were in a house, and they would get $70 a month, and my daughter would take the band full of them to the grocery store and say, you get to spend this however you want. But if you buy a Dr. Pepper and candy bars, that's what you're living on for the next month. And it just really touched me because that's reality. And most of these kids that my daughter worked with, parents drug them back into the life. One of them's in jail now. One of them jumped off the interstate at I-35. You know what I mean? So the people the stuff that they go through, it was mind numbing, wasn't it? And we joked a little bit, but we weren't really, the character he had. Got out of prison, guess what? You got to start paying child support. Right? Where's that money going to come from? So he can, it gives you a small, so I'm sorry to go on. It gives you a small taste of what they go through, and it's just ridiculous, man, so, but I couldn't be happier to go with somebody to do it with you, Paul, because it was at least I had somebody in the room that I could walk up to say, man, I got $20 worth of this, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine if you didn't. And this is in a room. This ain't all over Wichita, right? Learn how to use a bus system. So it was eye opening and touching. So I'm done. I'll go on that, Mike.
Yeah. I want to thank Jenny and Jolene and Les and the mayor for coming to the WAMPO meeting today and presenting the city of Andover to all the other cities and the county and just the Wichita metro area. And it was basically other cities learning about what we are doing, what we have done, and what we're kind of thinking about doing, and just how great Andover is. So it was really cool. The videos were great, and I appreciate y'all coming. I really do think that the other members are probably a little jealous. Oh, one more thing. Sorry.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, that too. KDOT also had mentioned, we had talked about this in the workshop, that the local consult will be on October the 8th. There's not an agenda yet. I spoke to them afterwards, but they will have something probably the week before, but they're probably not going to let it out of the bag until then. So
Is that for the community as well to come to those? So the more voices, Mike, that we have attending, the more Andover is heard.
yeah, I would probably say they need to know some knowledge about what we're attempting and wanting to do with transportation and the phase 2 and such. So if you want to learn more, please, you can get with any of us or staff. And but we definitely need to have people there that can talk about what is good for Andover.
Maybe we could do a video on the website.
That's it. Thank you.
I just want to remind everybody for Fellow Cruiser on Saturday. Let's see, what is that? The 13th?
13th.
Yes. So make sure that you go out. We get those police cruisers filled with food for the Andover Food Bank.
And that's at one location, Jody, just Dillon's?
Yes, it is at the one location. And remind me of the time.
10 to 2.
10 to 2 is what I thought, but I didn't want to say that in case I was wrong. Don't hold me to it. It's out there on social media, but I think it's 10 to 2.
If you don't see a cruiser, you're there at the wrong time.
Right. Come back when you do see the cruisers.
Can you drop it off? Can you drop it off early?
Yes, and thank you. You can drop it off now at the police department, or even if you cannot make it Saturday, we still will have a box there for forever. I think it's important just to continue to have it, but we definitely have people about a week into it afterwards. We'll still drop stuff off.
All right.
Greater Andover Days coming up. I see some young bucks in the audience, so welcome to City Council. I hope it was eye-opening, inspirational, and everything you can. I see you guys are awake, so that's impressive to me already. So appreciate you guys coming, and if you guys ever need anything with merit badges or whatever, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us up here. Okay. Thank you.
Red Clay Strays on Thursday. We're going to have amazing weather for that sold out concert, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to speak that into existence.
That's all I got.
Well, since everybody's taken everything I was going to say, I was going to thank the Boy Scouts for coming, and I hope you guys have a good time, and hope you guys don't have bruises from where Dad's, elbowing you to wake you up. I do want to, Jenny or Jolene, that PowerPoint that you guys used today can you share that? Can you share that with us? I'd love to kind of see it and, just see what you guys presented.
Reminisce.
I mean, yeah, what it is. Also, the senior center talk, Jenny, I think I said this earlier, but I just kind of want to reiterate. I'd love to see what other cities are doing, not just in Kansas. I mean, if you can pull some, I don't know, just I'd love to see what we can do to help the senior center out. If there's some out of the box ideas or something we can do. Phil, I'm very excited. I was actually going to say, well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, $1,200 right here that we could all donate to get them an IUD, AED, but just something to help the senior center out. I mean, they really, they need the help. They do a lot for us. Chief Russell.
Sorry.
What?
IUD is definitely not IED. So I just,
are you guys still doing the stadium on 9/11?
We are not doing the stadium. We're going to Wichita Stair Climb. So we
You're
have
doing-
at
okay.
least one team, possibly two,
Okay.
and they will be climbing the Epic Center.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And it's on Sunday.
Yep, it is on Sunday.
It's
Yes.
on Sunday
14th.
this year. Yes.
Okay.
is there anything the public can do to help out or anything with that?
We take some prayers.
Okay.
All right. I just want to, like Mike was saying, Jolene and Jenny did a tremendous job today. And Les has been part of that since, I was in high school or something.
Since the 80s and 96 and 99 and so a lot of dates there. So
Yeah. I wrote some of them down, but I don't have it on a piece of paper, but with me. But he was part of the first of a lot of things, putting committees together with Butler County and over Wichita, Wampo. And so been carrying the water for a long time, and I appreciate it, my friend.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I moved to maybe you want to open to staff?
Yeah, please.
I did have one update to give you. Because of the rains last night, we weren't able to open Founders Parkway today. We'll have to let it dry out a couple more days and we'll open it on Friday.
okay.
Rent a fan. Too soon.
Too
Sorry.
soon. Too soon.
Can you
Jenny?
Jenny. Is there anyone else in the staff have something to say?
I would. War Eagle. They're 2-0, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I moved to
I'm
adjourn.
begging you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Opposed,
Roll
nay.
Tide.
Motion carries 6-0.
Yes, because I am the fastest one to make sure.
Is anyone going to the chamber? of Com-
Until the cruiser Saturday, if they have a list, sometimes they have a list. Not the ones they want.